here for SimBoxx, and I'm joined by Osh Williams.
Yeah.
How you doing, Osh?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, very well, thanks.
Right.
So, this interview's been, spoke about for a while.
Yeah.
We've been chatting to you a lot on social media,
Yeah.
as we mentioned. So it's good to finally meet you, man.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good to get down here, man.
Yeah. So, for the followers of SimBoxx that might not know yourself,
Yeah.
how about you tell us? We can start with you telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah. So me previously, I'm from North Wales. I lived in Manchester, Salford, really, for a couple of years. I trained at Oliver Harrison's gym. I was very fortunate to be there for a good couple of years and spar and work with some of the best people. I could name a few now: Jim and Martin Murray, Derry Matthews, Rocky. They were all there at the time when I was there. It was probably the best period. Probably the best period that Oliver had and the gym had. So it was great to be there at that time amongst all these successful athletes, these successful boxers, these great professionals. I recently moved back to North Wales, where I've been boxing now, probably about a year and a half. I'm now based with Wes Jones down at Dufferin ABC in Colwyn Bay. And there's another two professionals who have been fighting on Kieran shows. Joe Warburton and Sean Yaxley, both doing really well.
Yeah.
Probably about 6-7 months ago now, when I finally got in touch with Kieran, we sort of got in touch with each other. I come down here for a PT and it's sort of snowballed since there, really. I've signed with him. I've been here up there sparring, I've been here sparring tonight. He took me down to Gallagher's, very good of him, and he signed me up and he's given me an opportunity. And I'm over the moon, mate. Absolutely over the moon to be here now. Start talking to you.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's really good to hear. It's good to be speaking to yourself.
Yeah.
So if you look at your background in boxing,
Yeah.
where did that really take you off for Osh Williams?
Do you know what? Funnily enough, I got a bit of an hiding in school, and then my dad took me home. He was fuming that I got a good hiding. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I started watching it. And funnily enough, I watched a documentary When We Were Kings by Muhammad Ali.
Brilliant documentary.
Yeah, class documentary. I just got into it and I was, a bit chubby in that at the time. I just started skipping, seeing him skipping, doing all this mad stuff. I thought, I'll get into doing that, so I started skipping. The weight dropped off and I joined a local boxing gym. At the time I was in North Wales, so it was Palace ABC. It used to be in Real, which was a really good gym back in the day. Me and Jack Baker was the coach there. It was only me and him most of the time there, but it sort of took off from there. I had 5 fights with Jack, and one day I was at home and was at my dad's house and I was watching Ringside, do you remember Ringside?
Of course, yeah.
And it had a big documentary about Oliver's gym.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, wow, this is mad. Look at this gym. This looks the business like. So literally about a week later, I got up in the morning, drove down to Oliver's and said, I want to join. Was driving up there a couple of nights a week and eventually made the move full time over there. So yeah, all panned out.
Brilliant. So you mentioned earlier, or previously I should say, when we spoke about the amateur background.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when I was in Manchester, I'd had about with Oliver. I had about 15 fights with Oliver, and then I moved over to I was at Tameside Elite very briefly, but I moved over to Ashton Albion with Wayne Haywood, which is a good gym.
Yeah.
I think I had 4 or 5 with Wayne. I moved briefly to Hope Street, trained there for about a year. I didn't fight out of Hope Street, but then I moved back to North Wales at that period there. So for me, that was where the sort of, I'm getting no younger, I'm 28 years old.
Okay.
So the conversation I had with Kieran was, let's come down here, let's have a chat. It's now or never. And I've done this, fortunately, even though I'm 28, I'm a young 28, I've lived a good life. But I've been doing this now since I was 13, 14 years old. So I've got a lot of experience. Like I mentioned earlier, I've sparred some great fighters, fought some good opponents who've gone on to do good things. And I'm here now, and like I say, my mindset is now or never. I've signed a 3-year contract with Kieran. Let's make the most of it. Let's see what I can do.
Yeah, fantastic. It's good to hear you got such a bright outlook on the future. It's a really inspiring story.
I think you have to, definitely.
Yeah. So is he a fight maybe lined up? Is he a time when we can expect to see him?
I've got medical in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
So I'm hoping it's going to be. I don't know if there'll be many shows in January, so February, March, that sort of time would be perfect. I've been fortunate that I've been training now flat out down at Dufferin for a couple of months. So I'm just training and getting good sparring, coming up here, getting good sparring, so there's no rush for me. It's just getting that sparring under my belt, getting my fitness up, which is in a good place, as you've seen tonight, it's there.
Yeah.
I'm about half a stone over my weight, which is good, so that's where I want to be. So I feel good, yeah, optimistic, like you said.
Fantastic. So you mentioned you've got that extensive background, being experienced in different gyms and with some high caliber opponents.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why this hasn't happened sooner in your mind?
Probably because I was at Oliver's at the time. I probably should have if I'd had my time again, maybe turn professional then with Oliver. But then again, I don't think I'm the same outlook and the same person mentally I was at 24. I'm a completely different person now at 28. I've got everything. I've got my family. I've got my friends. I've got my gym. I've got everything right where it needs to be. So for me, although it may seem like maybe slightly later than it should have been, to me it feels like the perfect time, and I think time is everything.
Yeah, definitely. There can be no better outlook than that.
Definitely. I think if I'd turned pro at 24, I think I'd have been done and dusted now. I think I would have been done. Do you know what I mean? And out of it. Whereas now, my outlook is completely different. Like I said, I'm only 28. Let's see where these 3 years go.
Definitely. So, like you say, you mentioned there's a 3-year contract. Is there what's the goals for Osh Williams? So put it simply, what's the goals?
Yeah, I don't sit here and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because talk is cheap. If it should have been, it would have been. I've always said. So for me, it's about taking every fight as it comes, training as hard as I can, being mentally and physically ready. And like I say, every fight we try and sell our tickets, and then we take it from there. I'd love to pick up a Welsh title. I'm a proud Welshman, even though I picked up the mountain goal being here a couple of years. I'm a proud Welshman.
It's something I was going to mention. It's almost like a 50-50
that's
certain words.
That's it. But I'd love to pick up a Welsh title. Who knows? I saw Gavin Gwynn lately. He picked up the Welsh title. He's a good fighter, and he went and fought Joe Cordino on a massive show for the British.
Yeah, good fight as well.
Yeah, that's it. So I think 3 years. If we get 4 a year, ambitious maybe, but if I get to 10 fights by the end of 3 years and see where we are, then I'll make an assessment on it. Do you know what I mean? That's what
fantastic. Now, obviously, you mentioned a couple of Welsh boxers, there's a rich boxing history in Wales.
Yeah.
Is there any particular fighters that you draw inspiration from?
There's a lot, to be honest with you. I love, Welsh fighters. Yeah, there's a proud history. A lot from the south. I've said previously in interviews and on social media, I think it's a great time for North Wales boxing. Wes Jones has got Jerome, Sean, myself coming through, and a lot of other top amateurs that are coming through. I think now is the best time that it's ever been for North Wales. So for me, obviously, I like Gavin Rees. I like Joe Kazag, these busy sort of fighters, these fit, busy fighters. But I've always taken my inspiration, as it were, from Manchester fighters. I used to love Michael Gomez. Love Michael Gomez. Hatton. I was a big, massive fan of Anthony Crolla. And just before his last fight, I got the opportunity to spar him, which was a massive opportunity.
Yeah, that was something that I was going to touch on. You can see it on your social media.
Yeah.
It must have been a real moment for yourself.
Yeah, it's crazy going in there. And the Smith brothers, there was all there, all these big names that I've seen on TV, Sky Sports. So I was there warming up, and I thought, I've got to snap myself out of it. I'm in fan mode here. I got to spar in a minute.
Taking it serious.
Yeah, that's it. So, but for me, everyone says the nicest man in boxing, and he probably is. What a gentleman, come over, introduce yourself, thank you for coming down and all that. Not many people have to do that, so fair play to him. We did a spar, and it was, I'll cherish that moment. It's at home in the scrapbook as we speak. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them.
Fantastic. How was it, being in there? You take us through, sparring, crawling. We always got high intensity, high work rate.
Yeah.
How did you find that as an experience?
Like I say, I've always sparred with very good fighters. He was, other than Jamie Moore, maybe, probably the most relentless. Okay. Probably the most relentless in terms of not giving you time to breathe for 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? He's there, he's on you, he's not leaving you alone, he's changing the angles. And, to me, I think he went out at the right time, a great time for him. He's still a fantastic fighter. I'm sure he'll be a great coach. He's got a prospect in Dylan Evans, who's working with Kieran as well.
Yeah, good prospect.
Yeah, he looks a very good fighter. So I think the future's bright for Collar, and it was just like I said earlier, being in Oliver's gym at the time, success breeds success. Being around these people, you pick up things, even if you're not sparring of them. I saw the way Martin Murray's attitude was, and when you go down to Gallagher's, the way the Smiths conduct themselves, the way Joe Gallagher, talks to them, and talks to his fighters. The things he advises, you're learning all the time. If you get fortunate enough to go to these places, you've got to be like a sponge, and you've got to just take it all in. And I've been fortunate, I think, to pick up a few tricks, and hopefully I've become a rounded fighter because of that.
Definitely, so it does seem like it's going to be a really exciting time, to follow the career of Osh Williams, and you know, myself personally, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
You know, thanks for your time this evening.
Oh, thank you for coming. I really
get your
appreciate
story
it.
out there, and I'm sure we'll catch up again in the future.
Thank you, definitely.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Thank you.